Keep it up. That is very.
I was just
My wife had it.
I always like jump down.
You might have
I
had
was
it injected.
expecting more organized,
Yeah.
I always forget
To say about
that it's on.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, everybody, for
That's
waiting.
very painful.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. The time is 7:34. I appreciate you waiting. We just came out of closed session. Clerk, can you please do roll call?
Councilman Bliss,
I'm here.
Councilwoman Clark,
Here.
Councilman Corbett,
Here.
Councilman Gettings,
Here.
Councilor Rohrbach,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Soltis,
Here.
Mayor Grafstein.
I'm here, thank you. The invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance this evening will be led by Councilwoman Clark. Councilwoman Clark, the floor is yours. If everyone could stand, please, if you are able.
In the circle of what will be, I am you and you are me. Some people are short and others are tall, yet you are reflections of them all. The great big stars that are in the sky have the same twinkle that's in your eyes. The dance of lightning, thunder, and pouring rain are quite like your spirit's dance, maybe even your pain. Our sun that brings warmth and shines its magnificent rays is your beating heart, which will brighten everyone's day. Mother Earth has a heart and lungs just like you, so we must love her and bless her, for she will take care of you too. Birds can fly high or sing in a tree, and you will fly with them and sing as one family. Snakes will hiss and slither ever so slow, but you can protect them wherever you go. Life on the planet is life up in space. All you must do is look within to find that magical place. Now, not everyone knows how special they are or how beautiful they seem, so it's up to you to share your love and awaken them from their dream. Perhaps there are moments when you will forget and will need a friend to help you remember. Your brothers and sisters will light a fire, and you can dance, sing, and cry until you smile before the ember. With your eyes open wide and your heart filled with love, spirits will send you messages from below and above. The mountains will cheer and rivers will flow. When your walk is in truth, the whole world will glow. As you grow wiser and reflect on what you are shown, in your heart you will know that you're never really alone. And in the circle of what will be, I am you, and you are me. And that was a poem by a woman named Lamore, and you can find it on her website, hellopoetry.com. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right, up first, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions from council this evening?
Your Honor,
Councilman Bliss?
I move that we add to D2 the addition of a third alternate seat for the Arts Board.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilman,
support, ma'am.
thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. That will be added to D2. Are there any other additions or deletions? All right, seeing none, move on to the agenda. We have meeting open to the public. This is the opportunity for the public to speak to council. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Identify yourself, name, address, just your relationship with the city. If you can direct your comments to me, the meeting is now open to the public. Sir, the floor is yours. Sir, I'm going to ask, if you're going to speak, please go behind the podium. No, I will take it, thank you. No, I will take it. Can you please pick this up? For the record, if anyone is addressing council, please address me from the podium. If you have anything to give to council or any member up here, please hand it to me. Sir, you may come back to the podium. All right, sir, sir, if you are going to speak, this is the last time I will tell you. Please come to the podium if you would like to be recognized by this council. All right. Meeting is still open to the public. If there's anybody else who would like to address council by coming to the podium, please do so. You have 3 minutes. If you have anything to give council or members up here, please hand them to me. Sir, please go ahead.
Mayor, City Council, I have nothing to give you physically today, so we can take a breath. I did want to come today. My name is Quinn Wright. I'm the chairman of the Human Relations and Equity Commission. I just wanted to ask, as you guys are considering members today, to please consider chemistry and the ability to work together. The Human Relations and Equity Commission was put together to provide representation to the City Council, and I'm hearing myself in speaker too. It's not just me. But I can push through it if you guys can push through it.
All right, and when, yeah, please continue.
Okay, yeah. Got to talk to the audio-video guy. I just want to ask that as you guys are making your recommendations today, please consider that the entire purpose of our board is to recognize the voices that might not be heard, and to also to try and galvanize the community. I think the HREC has done a great job pushing through different voices, but it's not been without challenges. So I just want to ask you guys, as you're making recommendations, just please take into consideration the folks being able to work together and to have chemistry. And so that is my only ask for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, and I don't know what that was, but it seems to have cleared up. So thank you for speaking over that. Is there anyone else who wishes to address council this evening? All right, seeing no one, I will close this public comment, but we do have two people who have written in, and the clerk is going to read those. Thank you.
The first one is from Jennifer Daly. Dear Honorable Mayor and council members, I am writing to ask you to introduce and/or support the Active Adult Center in Madison Heights be converted into a community center for citizens of Madison Heights. Having a center that caters to the community as a whole can be a major improvement in our city. This can add programs and activities for families, kids of all ages, teens, LGBTQ community, seniors, and the disabled. For me, this would be life-changing. I have a rare form of muscular dystrophy, which now has me in a wheelchair full-time. As a disabled woman, it's hard to get involved in this community when I have nowhere to go, nowhere to meet locals or hold adult disability groups and activities. I know this would open things up for so many of us who live here. Our city needs a positive change. When the benefits are so great and there is no harm done to the existing plan, it makes good sense to support a community center for all. Sincerely, Jennifer Daly. And the second email I have says, hello everyone, I'm Kimberly Heisler, Executive Director of the Madison Heights Community Coalition, and together with Brooke Heisler, Madison Heights Recreation Coordinator, we are proud and thankful to report that our annual Madison Heights golf outing netted a profit of over $11,000.
Wow.
We had 77 golfers, 30 sponsors, and a beautiful day for golfing. We would like to publicly thank these generous sponsors: Ricky Busler, President of the Madison Heights Community Coalition; Buster Sunday from Sunday Building; Dormakaba, Edward Street Dental; Breeze, Liberty, Puff, Noack and Frous. And we had several local businesses, as well as the Madison Heights Police Department and the Madison Heights Fire Department, Lanphier and Madison Schools, and Sherman, who were whole sponsors. And these golfers from Madison Heights: Director of Public Services Corey Almas, 16 DPS crew members, City Councilman Dave Soltis, Madison Heights Fire Chief Greg Lilio, City Manager Melissa Marsh, Streets and Facility Coordinator Justin Kowalski, Community Economic Development Director Giles Tucker. Our outing was successful because of all of you. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you all next year on August 5th and your continued support. Thank you, Kimberly Heisler.
Thank you, clerk. That was it?
Your Honor,
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Mr. Soltis?
I just want to add something. My score was better than they say. That's all I got to say. Corey can vouch for me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Soltis. All right, first up, we have Communications C1, the Michigan Municipal League Annual Convention Delegate. Mrs. Marsh, you have a report?
Yes, each year City Council selects one delegate and one alternate to represent the city at the Michigan Municipal League's annual convention. This year, the annual conference and meeting will be held in Grand Rapids on September 22nd and through the 24th. Councilor Rohrbeck is the only elected official that's able to attend this year. Therefore, City Council is being asked to appoint Councilor Rohrbeck as the convention delegate for 2021.
Great. Thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Mr. Corbett?
I move to appoint Councilor Rohrbeck to represent the community at the annual convention.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilman Clark?
I'll support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Councilor Rohrbach, anything you want to say?
I'll just say that the Michigan Municipal League is a wonderful opportunity to learn the work that we're doing here. It's focused on communities and helping people elected to office, city council, mayor, township boards, all of those different areas to learn what we're doing, because most of us come to this in having never served as an elected official before. So it is a wonderful resource, and I'm excited to go. I've learned a lot in the previous things that I've learned, that I attended through them, so I'm excited for this next one, and I encourage all of my fellow council members to attend a Michigan Municipal League training in the future, and anybody who is elected in the future to also do so. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think it's been 2 years since I went to one, because then everything shut down. Well, I shouldn't say since I've been to one, since I've physically been to them. There were a few online Zoom ones that I've attended over the last year and a half, and you can learn a lot. They really are very beneficial. I don't know what topics are on the agenda this year, but I'm glad that somebody is going. I've been able to go to, I think, most of them pre-COVID. This time around, wasn't able to fit my schedule, so thank you, Councilor Rohrbach, for doing this. And if there's no further discussion, everyone in favor for Councilor Rohrbach being our delegate, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against say no. Congratulations, you're a delegate. All right, next up, we have Communications C2. Sean Fleming is resignation from the Human Relations and Equity Commission. Mrs. Marsh, is there any kind of a report or just resignation?
That's it. Sean Fleming submitted his resignation.
All right, thank you. What is the wish?
Oh, and we would ask that council declare a seat vacant, which is through August 31st of 2022.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Clark?
I move that we accept the resignation of Sean Fleming from the Human Relations and Equity Commission and declare his seat vacant.
Great. Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor, support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. There is now another seat on the Human Relations and Equity Commission. I declare the seat vacant. Thank you. Next up, we have reports. D1 from the City Manager, Michigan's Employees Retirement System, MERS, delegate and alternate to the annual meeting. Mrs. Marsh?
As requested by the Municipal Employees Retirement System of Michigan, also known as MERS, the City Council is being asked to appoint Amy Mishak and Melissa Marsh to serve as Officer Delegate and Officer Alternate, respectively, and to certify the employees' election of Tom Sadawa and Annette Bosher for the Employee Delegate and Employee Alternate, respectively, to attend the 75th Annual MERS Convention October 7th and 8th at the Amway in Grand Rapids. Alternates will only be attending if the delegate cannot attend.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilman Corbett?
I move that the council appoint Amy Mishak and Melissa Marsh to serve as Officer Delegate and Officer Alternate, respectively, to the Michigan Employees Retirement System's annual meeting. Additionally, may I do it additionally? And additionally, certify the employees' election of Tom Sadawa and Annette Bushers as the employee delegate and alternate, respectively.
All right. Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor.
Councilor Rohrbach?
Support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have item D2, which was the addition this evening to add a third alternate to the Arts Board. I don't think we need a report for that. What's the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilman Bliss?
I move that we amend the resolution for the Arts Board to add one more alternate from the general public.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilor Rohrbach?
I'll support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, just to clarify, the expiration date would match up to the expiration date of the one tonight. I believe that's 23, 8/31/23.
24.
Is it 8/31 or is it 23?
The alternate's 2024.
24.
Yeah, 24,
Okay.
there.
All right. Any other discussion?
Your Honor,
Councilman Clark?
I'm all for boards and commissions having as many members as we can get on them because we need the volunteers. I see that the Arts Board currently has 3 vacancies and 2 more additional positions where the members are willing to keep their seats. What is the need for an alternate position, and do you think that it will cause any issues getting quorum?
Your Honor,
Please.
if I may. The alternate has no effect on quorum at all. In fact, it'll help us if we are one member shy and the alternate can be there. So it'll be beneficial to us for quorums of our larger meetings, but it's also going to help us. We're running a lot more larger events now. Trail Tunes is only going to get bigger. The Pumpkin Walk's only going to get bigger. We've got multiple murals that we're planning this year, and having one more able body to be able to help us with these subcommittees is very advantageous. I was speaking with the chair. We kind of came up with this short term, or like pretty much on my drive here. So just apologize to my peers for the short notice, but being able to amend this and add an extra alternate gives us a lot of flexibility. And since we're appointing folks tonight anyway, it didn't make sense to have this next meeting and then appoint another person as just kind of one fell swoop, if you all agree with the appointment or the creation of the additional alternate seat.
Can I ask just one more question? How long have the three?
Yes, you may.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How long have the three available seats been vacant? And do you find that there's a turnover?
Your Honor.
Please go ahead.
I think a couple months. It hasn't been since the last time we filled any. The Arts Board always has more applicants than we have members. Even if we fill all of these seats tonight, we're still going to have additional possible members that have applications in there. It's a really strong, thriving board with some incredible people, and giving some additional hands to be able to help us on all the things that we want to accomplish is a really important thing for us to do. And since it won't affect quorum at all, and it's not necessarily a voting member unless we're at risk of not having quorum, it's definitely a win-win all across the board.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from council? Comments? All right. All those in favor of adding this new position signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have a bid award from the DPS director, the Wandering Hose Leaf Vacuum. Mrs. Marsh, you have a
Yes,
report?
for many years, the DPS has provided highly popular curbside leaf collection program to our residents, which continues to be increasingly relevant in light of the focus on replacing trees in the right-of-way. During the last leaf season, it became apparent that the 2003 Vector was in need of serious repairs, and the cost far outweighed any potential benefit. It was put into emergency backup status for sewer jetting, as the suction drive is now completely inoperative. The newer Gap Vacs is no better equipment to function as a leaf pickup machine due to the fact that the newer machines are unable to move and utilize suction drive at the same time, and the excess of wear and tear that would be imposed on this machine. Therefore, the DPS staff began researching different options for a dedicated machine to fulfill this important leaf pickup operation. There are a limited amount of leaf machine manufacturers, and 2 leaf machines seemed best suited for our needs. Demonstrations were held for both MTech, available through the CoPro Plus cooperative bid, and Bell equipment, available through the MyDeal cooperative bid. MTech and Bell are both long-established vendors who have been highly positive relationship with the DPS. While the 2 machines are very similar, the Titan from Bell was unanimously preferred and is the most compatible machine for the nature of our leaf pickup operation. This machine is also in stock at the factory and can be delivered in time for the 2021 fall leaf season, which is very vital. Having performed the appropriate due diligence to select the long-lasting and effective machine, staff and I recommend that council approve the purchase of the Bonnell Titan Pro Plus Leaf Vac from Bell Equipment of Auburn Hills under the MyDeal Cooperative Purchasing Contract for $65,563. Funds are budgeted and available for this purchase.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Rohrbach?
I move that council approves the purchase of a Bonnell Titan Pro Plus Leaf Vac from Bell Equipment of Auburn Hills under the MyDeal Cooperative Purchasing Contract for $65,563.
Thank you. Is there support?
Ms. Grafstein.
Mr. Gettings?
Support.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against signify by saying no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have ordinances G1 from the CED Director, Ordinance 2168, a zoning text amendment 21-04. It's the amendment to regulate different types of outdoor storage and outdoor vehicle storage associated with business and industrial uses. This is the first reading. Mrs. Marsh?
So the proposed text amendment identifies different types of open storage associated with business and industrial uses. The standards are set based on the intensity of use, zoning, and surrounding districts. This amendment eases the restrictions on storage for industrial uses. The proposed amendment intends to add clarity and to assist code enforcement with the orderly layout of open storage areas. This amendment addresses several issues, including the following. The only current requirement for open storage in an industrial area is the requirement of a 6-foot screening wall. The ordinance does not have any standards to regulate site maintenance, site design, or alternative screening methods. It may be neither practical nor reasonable to always require a 6-foot wall, especially in cases where similar industrial uses are abutting. Currently, any deviation from the 6-foot wall would require a Zoning Board of Appeals variance. Such a request may be difficult to justify given the criteria for variances. It should be noted that the majority of open storage areas in the city do not conform with the screening wall requirement because they are existing nonconformities. The proposed amendment addresses flexibility and sets standards to regulate storage areas. Landscaping and screening requirements in a green belt and screening requirements in all districts where outside storage is allowed. This conflicts with the 6-foot screening wall only requirement under this section. When such conflict exists, the stricter requirement prevails. The proposed amendment clarifies this conflict and requires higher screening standards when a property abuts residential and loosens restrictions when it abuts other similar uses. Parking requirements are also unclear regarding limitations regarding to storage of merchandise, motor vehicles for sale, and etc. Storage that is accessory to a permitted use should be allowed, not restricted. The proposed amendment identifies the different types of vehicular storage, such as car sales and fleet vehicles, contractor equipment, trailers, etc., and identifies means to store them on site subject to certain standards. The current use standards for used and new cars are similar use are minimal, as noted in this section. Use of permissible special approval. The current ordinance does not provide any guidance for using a neighbor's property for storing additional vehicles, provided that they have additional space to spare. For example, car rentals are permitted in business districts. However, a majority of business districts in Madison Heights are small and do not have enough space to actually park the rental vehicles. Such shared agreements would require ZBA approval based on current standards. The proposed amendment addresses such situations to help existing businesses grow in place. Based on current standards, a vehicle under 3/4 ton is permitted to park on a residential lot, but a ZBA approval is required when it weighs over 3/4 ton. The process may be considered excessive for residents who can park such vehicles without impacting the neighborhood. This proposed amendment streamlines these processes and also allows an administrative review option. Planning Commission has reviewed this ordinance and recommends that City Council approve the draft amendment of Ordinance 2168 as presented upon first reading, and that Council schedule a second and final reading for the regular City Council meeting of September the 13th, 2021.
All right, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Your Honor?
Councilwoman Clark?
I move that we approve the draft amendments, ordinance 2168, as presented upon first reading, and that council schedule the second and final reading for the regular city council meeting of September 13th, 2021.
Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor?
Mr. Corbett?
I'll even support it too.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against say no. Thank you. Motion carries. Next up is another ordinance, 2169. This is for zoning text amendment 21-05 to list of permitted uses and uses that require special approval in the M1 and M2 zoning districts and within the boundaries of the Southern Downtown Development Authority. This is also the first reading. Mrs. Marsh?
The proposed amendment revises the current list of permitted uses in the M1 Light Industrial District to include additional uses commonly found in these districts. It also takes uses such as recreational facilities and private fitness facilities that would be subject to special use approval and includes them as a permitted use. This proposed amendment is intended to reduce unnecessary cost and time for new businesses seeking to locate in our Light Industrial District. The Planning Commission has reviewed this ordinance and recommends City Council approve the draft amendment ordinance 2169 as presented upon first reading, and that Council schedule the second and final reading for the regular City Council meeting of September the 13th.
Great, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I move that we adopt ordinance 2169 on first reading and schedule the second and final reading for the meeting September 13th, 2021.
Great, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor. I'll
Ms.
support.
Hart? Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Rohrbach?
I do have a question about it. So we often hear that, people will complain about, like, they don't want this kind of business in town, or they don't want this kind of business in these different areas. And this seems to me, while it in some ways will attract businesses to the city because it reduces the cost, but it seems to me that it could make it so that, our hands are tied. Like, if it's allowed, and we can't make any other changes or have any more control over that. I just would like to hear a little bit more, maybe from somebody who has insight into this, about how this helps us, just tell me some more.
Actually, our Economic Development, Community Development Director, Giles
Oh, good.
Tucker, is here if he
Mr. Tucker,
wants
if,
to talk about it. If not, I will look up the ordinance.
it looks like he's coming. Mr. Tucker, if you could pick a podium and share, please.
First time
You want to use the other one? Go, try the other one. Try that one.
He really doesn't like those,
Apparently not.
Yes, it goes.
So the proposed amendment to the M1 uses is beneficial in quite a few ways. I found that when locating businesses that we actually want in our light industrial district, it was more difficult to do so. Like a very common example would be a tradesman or a small-scale contractor, let's say electrical or plumbing, that has a small amount of fleet vehicles. I was requiring them to get approved under special use approval, where that's the area in which we want those types of uses. Other additions that we've included in the ordinance allow for more shared office and incubator space, more space for artisan uses, those things that just don't fit the mold. And development staff, what we end up doing is, in the special use section of the ordinance, it says similar or related uses. So we use that as a catch-all for a lot of these things that we see time and time again. So the purpose of these updates to the uses is to clearly identify them. It's clear that this is the right district for them. So we're eliminating those costs. That means not necessarily a site plan review application fee, special land use fees, so $1,500 in fees, let alone fees for professional services such as architect, things like that. Quite hefty on small business owners. So that's kind of the proposed amendment.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Great, thank you. Yes.
So that was kind of related to the question that I was going to ask, because you guys listed a couple of different buildings, like recreational facilities and fitness facilities. And I know that a large majority of the DDA, as it's being discussed and developed, is these light industrial buildings. And I can't imagine that we only want light industrial businesses there when we want it to be a walkable area. So I was going to ask, does that mean businesses outside of these, like artisans, like Giles actually explained? I know we had some aerial acrobats looking to find space in our area that doesn't necessarily fit the mold, and there are ways, there's so many vacant industrial buildings in that area that could be utilized for different uses that would bring growth and development to that area. So I'm definitely going to vote in favor of this.
All right. Thank you. Is there any other comments, questions from council? All right. So for the last year, the Planning Commission has been working on a lot of these things, and the DDA has been working on a lot of these things, and I'm glad to see that it's slowly coming through. I will be voting yes as well. And so I guess anyone who is going to vote in favor of yes, please say aye.
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 Those against, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have H1 from the city attorney, the resolution to create a charter revision study committee, and this has been postponed from July 26th. Mrs. Marsh, Mr. Sherman?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Some potential charter issues have been identified for review. One being resignation of a council member to run for mayor. Second one being appointment of mayor pro tem, and the third being appointment when there's a council vacancy. In order to review these types of provisions and possibly others, we need to have a study group consisting of people who can parse words, suggest ideas, and imagine how those ideas would work out in the real world. In other words, we need a technocratic and apolitical group. As such, from the last time we spoke about this issue, I proposed two options. Option one, in my legal opinion, is clearly the better option. It prohibits group members, sitting council members and the mayor, or those who ran for council or mayor in the last two election cycles. Option two asks for a person, asks any applicant whether they volunteered for or donated, and kind of adds politics back into the mix when the goal is an apolitical group. Plus asking someone who they supported 2 or 3 cycles ago is pretty much irrelevant, and pretty much irrelevant to whether they're qualified to be a member of a study group. So if council's of mind to take this up, I would recommend option one as opposed to option two.
Okay, thank you. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor?
Councilor Rohrbach?
Yes. Yeah, I'm scrolling back up to the top. Give me just a second. There we go. I move that we create a charter revision study committee based on the option one that our city attorney has recommended.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Clark?
I'll support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor?
Councilman Bliss?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned on the language, and, you know, it's an important thing. You know, I'm generally supportive of us tackling charter amendments. Most of these haven't been done in decades. And so I think we need to do that. I'm a little concerned at kind of the speed and the pace right now. I'm not sure which of these versions is better. I don't want us to have a situation where we create a charter revision committee that's not necessarily speaking for the will of the people, or we, you know, have an unintended consequence based on what we're adopting here. So, you know, I'm very conflicted. I'd like a little bit more time to be able to speak with legal counsel about this. So I will make a substitute motion to table, date uncertain.
All right, thank you. Motion was made and seconded, and then during discussion, a substitute motion has been made to table this. Is there support for the tabling of this discussion?
Your Honor.
Councilman Corbett?
Support.
All right. So motion has been made and seconded to table this discussion to a later date. We are now having a discussion regarding tabling this to a later date. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor?
Councilor Rohrbach?
My understanding was that there was the reason we were going to create this charter revision study committee was to address these particular issues, and if it comes to the like if the revision committee comes up with a proposal, that would then have to go to the voters, correct?
Charter amendment would have to
Charter
go to the
amendment
voters.
has to go to the voters. But my understanding, have we missed the deadline for the November election? So it doesn't matter, like if we do this now, it's not going to go onto the ballot anyway until next year at the earliest.
We were
Yes.
targeting November
Yes.
2022 anyway.
Yeah,
a
we,
whole year from now.
yeah, nothing can be added to it now.
Okay.
We missed that deadline. So whether we vote on it now or we vote on it in a month or 2 months or probably even 6 months from now, it would still be for November 2022.
Your Honor, I would just want to clear something up. Before it would go to the voters, it would have to come back to this council. Council would have to approve it, and then it would have to be sent separately to the Attorney General's office and to the Governor's office. Both the Attorney General and the Governor would have to approve, and then it would be placed on the ballot. In addition, this is merely setting up the study group, and you're not referring these particular issues that I've spoken about. I just mentioned those because those issues have started to come up, and that's the impetus for setting up the study commission. So this council would have to refer specific issues to that study group. So the motion before you is just to set up the study group.
All right, thank you for that clarification. Are there any other questions or
Your
comments?
Honor,
Ms. Clark?
I myself I don't see the need to kick the can down the road any longer. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity for our residents to get involved, starting with these two things, and the potential for it to make great changes in our city is pretty big, and so I'd like to see it go through. I don't see the purpose in kicking the can down the road. We're either going to vote for it or vote against it, and I'd like it to be this council that has been together for a couple of years now before we put it back up when we get newer council on board, and they might not have a familiarity with everything that is currently happening. So I think I would like to continue with it tonight.
Okay. I have no knowledge that there will be a newer council coming up, and this council's been together for just over a year now. And I think that there are a lot of things that we are dealing with in the city that need to be addressed before we take a look at the charter. I do think the charter does need to be revised, and there are multiple concerns I have with the charter that I think need to be addressed, but I don't think that it's something that we need to be looking at right now. We're going to be making appointments to boards and commissions this evening. I don't think that we need to be starting another one right now. So that's my thoughts on that. If anyone else on council has anything they want to share, any thoughts? Okay. So if there's no more discussion, then we will be voting to indefinitely table this study group. All those in favor of
Ms. Grafstein,
Mr. Gettings?
could we have a roll call
We
vote?
can, yes, we
please?
can. Clerk?
Yes. Councilman Bliss?
Yes.
Councilwoman Clark?
No.
Councilman Corbett?
Yes.
Councilman Gettings?
Yes.
Councilor Rohrbach?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Soltis?
Yes.
Mayor Grafstein?
Vote yes, motion carries. We are going to table this, and just to clarify for everybody, that does not mean we won't be discussing it. It means we won't be discussing it now. Next up, we have boards and commissions. City Clerk, we have all the boards and commission renewals and appointments. So, Mrs. Marsh, do you want me to do this one?
Sure.
Okay, so normally what we do is we go through the list of boards and commission vacancies, and we do it alphabetically. And we are going to start with the Active Adult Center. So what is the wish of council regarding vacancies for the Active Adult Center?
Your Honor?
Advisory Board.
Your Honor, if I may, just might, there is two positions on the Active Adult Center Advisory Board. However, the Active Adult Center Board has asked that one of the positions not be filled until after their election that they're having in the fall.
Okay, so do we need to vote to not do this, or should we just not do this one?
No, they want the one, there's two positions. They just want to ask for one not to be filled.
Yeah.
Okay,
Your
all
Honor?
right. Mr. Corbett?
I was just, and the one is Francis Smith, right? That.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I'd move to reappoint Francis Smith to a term on the Active Adult Center Advisory Board, to a term which will expire 8/31/23.
All right. Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor?
Mrs. Bolt?
Support, please.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, Please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against say no. All right, motion carries. Appointment is made. Next up, we have the Arts Board. Is the wish of council.
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I'm not sure if I can do this in one motion, but I'd love to try if the attorney is okay with it.
All right, and Mr. Bliss, just a reminder, you've added a third alternate.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so
You're able to.
I'm able to? Awesome. All right, that makes life a little bit easier for this back and forth. So I move that we appoint Vita Palazzolo, Lori Gerald, and Steve Dombrowski for the full seats expiring 8/31/24. Meredith Fleischer for the full seat expiring 8/31/23. Jenny Zamarzlik and Jason Theodora for the alternate seats expiring 8/31/24. And Michael Covert for the alternate seat expiring on 8/31/23.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Ms. Grafstein,
Mr. Gettings?
I'll support the motion.
All right, thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against signify by saying no. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Your Honor? I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted clarification for the Active Adult Center. You weren't able to hear the person that was nominated and voted in was Francis Smith? Francis Smith,
Yes.
yeah. I.e., okay, there you go. Thank you.
If they appointed Dombrowski, that was his term.
So
So I
there's
would-
an alternate. All right, and just to clarify, for the Arts Board, with Stephen Dombrowski moving into a regular position, the alternate role expiring 2023 is now open.
Right,
That
so-
was, that was included.
I think you.
Did you include it? I just
that?
wanted to make
Okay.
sure.
Yep, I filled that in that motion.
So,
Thank you.
Councilman Bliss, the Arts Board, including the alternates, are all Phil?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Moving on, next we have Community Development Block Grant Review. We have,
So that's Syed Mirza. His alternate term is expiring. He is willing to fill the regular seat if that's council's wish.
Your Honor,
Councilman Clark?
I move that we appoint Syed Murtaza to the available seat expiring 8/31/2023.
Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilor Rohrbach?
I'll support.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, in reviewing the applications, there's at least one that I noted had indicated she was interested in this board. She had a whole list of ones, but she wasn't under, like, under the list of options for us here.
Okay. I'd have to look it up. I can go back to that.
Okay.
Do you want to,
I'm just wondering if there was reason for that. And then also, since there's 3 open seats here, if we'd like to maybe appoint that person.
There were some seats, there were some people that applied that listed almost every single board, and we contacted them and asked them what their top 3 were.
Okay.
So that might have been in that situation, but I'd like to double check.
Okay.
all right, so, is there any other questions? No. Dr. Said, okay. Any other discussion from council? All right, all those in favor of this appointment, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Downtown Development Authority. This would be a mayor's appointment, so just to give a reminder to everyone, the DDA has changed their bylaws, and they said that what they would like to do is they would like to make a recommendation. They would like to make a recommendation to the mayor for the mayor's appointment. So I'm on the DDA, so I was at part of this, and I was actually part of the recommendation. So I don't have to listen to their recommendation, but in this case, I will. So I am going to see if anyone on council can take my recommendation for Anthony Mancini and Joe Mirando to make the appointments for them to the DDA, giving Anthony the position that expires February 2023, and Joe the position that expires February 2025.
Your Honor, I move,
Over it? Yep.
I move to confirm the mayor's nomination of Anthony Mancini and Joe Giuseppe Marinato to the DDA.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor, I'll support.
Thank you. All right, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the Environmental Citizens Committee. What's the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Rohrbach?
I move that we appoint Jennifer Bartleman to the regular seat expiring 2/28/24, Corrine Porter to the regular, Jennifer Bartleman to the regular seat expiring 2/28/23, Corrine Porter to the alternate seat expiring 2/28/24, and Jason Theodora to the alternate seat expiring 2/28/23.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilwoman Clark?
I'll support.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Your Honor, I just have a question. Jason Theodorov is on the arts board as well as an alternate. He's an amazing guy. I know he does a lot of volunteering around the city. Mark, I wonder if you could let us know if you think that that is a position that he can take on in addition to the arts board position, if you think he'll be, I know he's very enthusiastic about everything going on in the city, but I just want to make sure that it wouldn't be an overload for someone to be on more than one board or commission.
Councilman Bliss?
Yeah, Your Honor, he's a great guy, an incredible volunteer, and I mean, I think anybody who with energy filling a seat that would otherwise be vacant is obviously preferred as opposed to leaving it that way.
Sure.
So he's energetic, he's contributed in a lot of ways. He's also on the Library Advisory Board, so.
And the Parks Board.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion from council? All right, seeing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Appointments are made. Next up, the Historical Commission. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Mr. Corbett?
move that the council appoint Kelly Orden, I'm sorry, I always try to go 3 syllables on it instead of 2, Orden to the regular position, which will be expiring on the 23rd. Additionally, to the other position for the 23rd, for the 2023, I'd move to appoint Tanya Grattinger. And Adam Demond, I would move to appoint to the regular term, which will expire in 2022.
Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor, I'll support.
Thank you. All right. Any discussion?
Your Honor, do we have to declare the alternate seat vacant at this point, or no?
We would declare the alternate seat vacant when we move Kelly Orden, should we decide to move Kelly Orden up. Yes.
Is it a second motion, or is it all in the?
I think it can be
We can
amended.
include, I would modify mine to
Okay, make her amend.
declare vacant the
Yes.
the
Okay,
alternate.
so that has just been amended to declare the alternate seat vacant, should we carry that. All right, any
Right.
other discussion? Yep.
Sorry, just a question for the clerk. Does this include my father's seat as well as Jack Scott's?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this fills all the vacancies outside of what would then be the alternate?
Yes, but I'd like to, I can double check, but yes.
Okay. I'm just looking at the website. It looks like there's 2 vacancies, which would then become 4. So if that's the case, just so we can let the general public know that if we can fill that seat, that'd be great, if somebody applies.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the Human Relations and Equity Commission. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Councilor Rohrbach?
I move that we appoint Paige Szymanski to the regular seat expiring in 8/31/22. Jessica Tutt to the second regular seat expiring 8/31/22, and Nicole Fox to the alternate seat expiring 8/31/22.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Ms. Clark?
I'll support.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion in council? Okay, and just to clarify, when we came into the meeting, there was one seat open and one alternate, and then we did accept a resignation this evening, so there are 2 seats. All right. Thank you. If there is no further discussion from council, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have Information Technology Advisory Committee. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Please.
I move that we appoint Ben Flanagan for the full seat expiring 2/28/23, and Paul Timmons and Robert Dedure for the alternate seats expiring 2/28/22.
All right. Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor, I'll support.
Thank you. All right, motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against say no. Motion carries. Appointments are made. Thank you. Next up is the Library Advisory Board. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Ms. Corbett?
I move to reappoint Jason Theodorov to the regular term which he currently holds, which will expire in 2023. Move to promote Rebecca Chambliss to a second regular seat expiring 2023. And just to show you I'm learning, I also would ask to declare her alternate seat vacant. And addition Nancy Mickler, to a third regular term, which also expires in 2023.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor,
Councilman Bliss?
I support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion from council? Questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor,
Council Rohrbach?
I move that we reappoint Jamie Bomarito and Sandra Quackenbush to the positions, the regular positions expiring 2/28/23, and Harris Vasliki, sorry if I butchered that name, to the alternate seat expiring 2/28/22.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor?
Mr.
Support.
Corbett? Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion from council?
Your Honor,
Please.
I think the name is Vasliki Harris. I think it's flipped, but we just want to check that before we send out a notification.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that clarification or potential. Is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. And then last up is the Planning Commission. This is a mayor's appointment. Josh Champagne has been the chair for not quite a year, last few months. He's been on the commission for quite a while, but he was appointed chair a few months back when our former chair left the city, and so I would like to see him back on. He's doing a phenomenal job, and he is willing to do this. So if someone would like to make the appointment based on my recommendation, that would be great.
Your Honor,
Mr. Bliss?
I move that we confirm your appointment of Josh Champagne, or reappointment to Josh Champagne to the Planning Commission with a term that expires 8/31/24.
Great. Thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor?
Ms. Grafstein?
Mr. Corbett?
Support.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, say no. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have approval of the special city council meeting minutes from August 9th. What is the wish of council?
Your Honor?
Councilman Corbett, was that you?
Well, it was a blended voice. I think.
It's beautiful harmony.
Yeah, we're working on our harmony. We'll get it down, ma'am. I move to approve the special meeting minutes from August 9th.
All right, thank you. Support?
I'll support it.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All against say no. Motion carries. Thank you. And last up is the regular city council meeting minutes from August 9th. Can I have a motion from council to approve?
Your Honor.
Mr. Corbett?
Coward. I move to approve the regular meeting minutes of the 9th.
All right, thank you. Is there support?
Your Honor.
Ms.
I'll
Clark?
support.
Support. All right, is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all against say no. Thank you. Minutes have been approved. That concludes the formal portion of our meeting. I now invite closing comments by council, starting with Councilman Corbett.
Actually, nothing this evening, Your Honor, just to say hi to the new face in the audience, and I will defer to Mr. Sherman, who I assume will be doing the introduction shortly.
Oh, you're talking about Tim? Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah,
Tim,
no,
he-
no, I was-
haven't you been here?
Yeah. Oh, I was?
Okay, all right,
Oh, never mind. Well, hi, Tim, good to see you again.
okay.
okay.
It'll be my pleasure.
Well, you can introduce him to the world, and, yeah.
Well, this is Tim Burns, and Tim, stand up and say hello.
Yeah.
Tim used to be an Oakland County Commissioner, a Democrat from Troy, and he's a lawyer. He was a defense attorney, and I remember prosecuting cases where he was representing the defendant, and he did such a fine job that we decided to hire him as a prosecuting attorney. So, welcome to the team, Tim.
Well, gee, attorney, Democrat, county commissioner, brother, you're running up the score on yourself there. Welcome. Good to see you again, Tim. That's all I have this evening, man.
All right, thank you, Mr. Corbett. Councilman Bliss?
Yes, Your Honor. If Tim is still with us after that, thank you. Honestly, I'm really excited about the board appointments today. I'm incredibly thankful to my peers for adding that additional alternate onto the Arts Board. And I'm excited because there's so much energy in all of these boards. When I looked around at Trail Tunes, we had so much excitement coming from board after board that we're all there participating and, you know, being a part of it. There's some great things happening, and pretty much, I mean, if not all of our boards have some awesome, exciting things. There are open seats. Please fill out the application. As those become open, as seats become open, we'll be able to appoint you, but we can't do that if you don't already have the application in. So don't wait until there is a seat and you hear about it online from somebody. Put it in now, pick the boards that you want to be a part of, and allow us to put you in as those seats become available. I'm very partial to our city boards. And I think part of it is, you know, growing up here, you know, having been a part of them, having, you know, watched my dad as a part of them for so many years. But I think it's been such a great experience with the couple that council so graciously allowed me to put into motion with the Arts Board and ITAC that I want to propose another one. I'm going to have a draft ready for next week if one of my peers would be so kind as to join me on putting it onto the agenda. But I mentioned it a couple months ago, and I still think it's a great idea, and I want to throw it out there. I want to join communities like Royal Oak and Warren around us and create an animal welfare advisory commission. It's something we've discussed at multiple council meetings, you know, the welfare of the animals in the city. I see this committee being kind of a blend of ITAC and the Arts Board, where it'll help us to really finesse some of the language in our ordinances and give recommendations to council on some of the decision-making that we need to make as far as the animal ordinances go. But it's also going to be able to do fundraisers and, you know, help and benefit how we take care of the animals in our care. as a city. And so I'd love for support from one of my peers to put that on the agenda. We'll have a draft for next meeting, and I'm absolutely open to any and all feedback and comments, and let's form this thing together. I think it'll be really important for the future of our city, mostly because we have so many incredible animals, and anything that we can do to make this a better place for them to live, I think is important. Finally, I want to thank my peers and city staff for the resolution that'll be on the next meeting, a condolence resolution for my dad. I know it's been a bit. The family and I weren't quite at a place where we could do that until now, and I think it's really fitting. It'll be not long after my birthday, and we'll have the whole family out, and we're going to go out after this. But I'm just really appreciative of the willingness of staff and council to do that resolution, to invite my family out, and to just honor my dad, Tony Bliss's legacy in the city, which he'd be so proud tonight. And I think it's fitting that that's the next meeting, because his seat, and that's why I confirmed, his seat already being filled with somebody energetic about the city's history and somebody wanting to serve on that board. It's just really awesome, and I thank everybody up here for that opportunity in a couple of weeks. That's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Councilman Bliss. Mr. Gettings? Do you have anything this evening?
Thank you, Ms. Krafstein. Just wanted to remind the community that the kids will be going back to school soon, and they tend to jump out in the street maybe when they shouldn't. So if you could remember that they'll be on their way back to school, and to try to watch out for them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. City Attorney Sherman?
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, I want to thank council, because on July 26th, I had a matter on the agenda, and action was postponed, but council wanted to postpone it to August the 9th. The problem with that date, it was my 35th wedding anniversary. So I said if I wanted to have a 36th wedding anniversary, you'd please put it over, and council graciously did. And then a week ago, we got the best present, that any anniversary present you can get, and that is the birth of another grandchild. So I wanted to welcome Dylan Noah Sherman into our family, and he will be well taken care of and well watched over. And then finally, I just want to express my condolences to the Bliss family. I knew Tony longer than I know you, Mark. He was a great guy, and he obviously left us way too soon. And my condolences to your family.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman. Mrs. Marsh, anything from the city manager's office?
Well, congratulations, but I'll spare you what Corey had to go through at the last meeting and all the different names of grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of things coming up. For those of you that might have heard about the Active Adult Center, Civic Center Plaza, Fire Station 2, whole project renovation, I invite you to come out and get more information. We're actually having 2 meetings. One of them scheduled for September the 13th. That's a Monday. That's right before the next council meeting. Trying to make it convenient for everyone. We're going to have it at Fire Station 2. That's on the south side on John R. So the meeting starts at 5:30. The maximum amount of time it'll go is until about 7, because I have to be back here at 7:30. But the fire chief and the firefighters will be giving a little tour of Fire Station 2 after that meeting. The second meeting will be the next day during the day. It's more targeted towards the seniors, and it's going to be held at the Active Adult Center. It's going to be at 1 o'clock. That's Tuesday, September the 14th. So if you can't make either one of those meetings, but you're interested in more information, feel free to stop into City Hall. Very accessible, and I will meet with you and answer any questions that you have at that time. Citizens Academy is open. The application is online. There's only a few seats left. This is limited to only 15 people. It's quite a popular program. If you can't get online or you don't know how to use the internet, feel free to call me, stop into City Hall, come up and see me tonight. We'll get you signed up for that. It starts September the 8th. It's going to run 8 or 9 weeks. Right now, probably closer to 8, as I'm trying to consolidate 2 nights together. So that program's, like I said, very successful. People really like it. You tour all the different departments in the city. We go out to different places within the community, and you really learn a lot about the inner workings of the city government, but the thing that I like the best about it is I get to know a lot of the residents, and the residents get to know me, and they get to know the department heads in the city, so the department heads love it. All the residents in the past have really enjoyed it as well. So that's definitely a great program. And last, for the second year, we are going to be having Restaurant Week, September the 19th through the 24th. Restaurants already have had to sign up, but if there's a restaurant that you know about that would like to participate, feel free to have them call my office. We can still get them in. And then I just encourage you to try a new restaurant in Madison Heights every day that week. That's it.
Thank you. Anything from the clerk's office this evening?
Nothing this evening.
All right, thank you. Counselor Rohrbach?
Thank you. I just have a couple things. First is congratulations on your second. How many grandpahoods are you?
3.
Third. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Never gets old, I'm sure. Not that I'm a grandparent, so. The other thing is, I was going to comment about Citizens Academy. Everyone I know that has done Citizens Academy has absolutely loved it. It gives anyone who is interested in how the city works and like, why does this happen this way? It gives you real insight into how the city works. It's an incredible opportunity. I've rarely seen it available in other cities, so I really encourage everybody that has any interest at all in how it all works to get in there and learn. And then finally, the September 11th at 10 a.m. Out here in front of City Hall, we have our fire department is going to be doing a ceremony to recognize the 20th anniversary of the attack on the World Trade Center and elsewhere in the United States. It's going to be a very solemn ceremony, but anyone is welcome to attend, and I encourage everyone to please come and join us as we commemorate that special moment. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Rohrbach.
Yes, so, 20 years.
20 years.
That was like a kick in the stomach. I'll keep it brief this evening. Councilman, bless you, certainly have my support. I too remember recommending us start an animal welfare commission shortly after Nick Taylor brought his recommendations to change the ordinance to council, and also after we had so many volunteers flood us with concerns after being displaced when that program was canceled. So you certainly have my support. I can get 100% behind that, and I hope that Nick Taylor and all the volunteers that were displaced from the animal shelter will find a seat at the table in that commission, because I think they bring a lot to the table, and I think our city will benefit from it. Outside of congratulations for babies, which are always welcome, and I love to hear about them and see pictures of them, I am excited about all the events that Councilor Rohrbach outlined, and I myself am installing an art installation at the library this week that will be available by Thursday, August 26th, in time for Women's Equality Day, which commemorates the struggles of women who want to be heard as fierce advocates. They gain the statutory right to vote via the 19th Amendment. And this art installation is a collection of paintings of women reading that I've collected over the years from thrift stores or estate sales. It's very powerful when you see it in person. My family thought I was crazy when I first started collecting it, and now my daughters have all declared that they will fight over it the day that I die, and that's all you can ask for. So I recommend that you go and see this art exhibition, and there will also be recommended reading, music, movies, authors, all of things of that nature, all things women, on display there as well. So August 26th, you'll be able to see that.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Soltis?
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I want to recognize the ladies from the Active Adult Committee. Appreciate you coming out. I'm sorry you couldn't hear some of us speaking, but we'll have to turn up the volume next time. We really appreciate your contribution to the senior community in Madison Heights and all the work that you do. Second, for seniors that, whoever, should consider getting that third booster shot, talk with your physician. But I think, well, the so-called experts are saying that you should get it 8 months after your second shot. But if you read the manufacturer's websites, which I did, Pfizer and Moderna, they're saying that the 95% efficacy, that's where you want to be, is through 6 months. So not quite sure why they came up with 8 months, but That doesn't mean you can't talk to your physician and see if they recommend you getting it sooner than later, because you want to be at the 95% level, especially when Delta is coming or here. So make sure you look into that. I really do think that you should. Third, I met informally with our sheriff, Sheriff Bouchard at Oakland County. You know what? He's a great official. He, when I first got on board, elected, he was the only one that sent like a congratulations letter to me. Didn't even know me. So he's just a fantastic guy. He's done so much in terms of crime prevention throughout here in the county. I have enormous respect for him and his staff. In fact, my son is a deputy, a newly deputized, and you know, he's still a rookie, but I'm very proud of him, and you know, that I appreciate Sheriff Bouchard and our awesome police department too. I think some of you might have seen that when we were conducting business here, there was an officer that pulled over somebody. So, you know, they're keeping busy, and they're making our city so much safer. Lastly, I have my alma mater, Oakland University mask that I was going to wear tonight. Yeah, here it is. And so, in hope that my youngest, see, my glasses are all fogging up. So we were hoping, we took our youngest son to Oakland University open house, and so I just hope that he goes there. I don't know, he has some choices, but we'll see what happens. And then I want to thank behind the scenes the staff that's back there that you never see, that do a lot of the work. They keep the lights on, they keep the audio going, they keep live stream going. So they do a really good job. It's a kind of a difficult thing, but they do a heck of a job. So I appreciate that. And congratulations, Counselor.
Thank you.
It's 3 now, you said, or 4? Oh,
3.
Okay, we won't jump ahead. So, thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Soltis. I just want to echo the statement you made regarding Sheriff Bouchard. He really is a huge supporter of all things law and order. I went for lunch with him not long after I was appointed mayor. Really good conversation, and I really appreciate the relationship that we have with not only the county sheriff, but the county prosecutor. Karen McDonald's office has done some really good things as well, and they've done some joint work with our police chief, and had a really good conversation with her as well, just in the last couple of weeks. So thank you for reminding me of that. I do want to make a statement regarding the start of this meeting. So 2 things. One is we had a closed session this evening at 7, so we finished just that little bit of time to start. So we did start late, so I apologize to anyone who showed up here or who tuned in, and we were a few minutes late. We started, I believe, at 7:33 or 7:34. We do try and finish our meetings before these meetings to be on time. This one just went, that 3 minutes over. I also want to address the issue of the gentleman who was the first to speak this evening. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but just as a quick review, council meetings are intended to be professional, and there's a set of protocols that we all follow. And so when the meeting is open to the public, any member of the public has the opportunity to come up and to speak, but they need to be addressing the mayor. And if they have any information to provide to myself or anybody up here on the dais, they need to provide it to me. The gentleman who approached us did so without permission. He handed something to the clerk without permission. He was not removed, but we do have an officer here who did pick up the paper he left. Gentleman then moved to the side and continued to speak, which is absolutely not allowed. I did let him know that if he wanted to take his spot at the podium, he was welcome to have his 3 minutes and continue. He chose not to. So I do appreciate when people come and they do follow the rules of protocol so that we don't have anarchy. Mr. Gettings has mentioned that school is back, so yes, everybody, please watch out for people who are crossing the street. And I just, I send best wishes to all the families who are returning in the next couple of weeks, whether they've made the choice to go back in person, whether they've made the choice to do online, if that's an option. The last couple of school years have just been things that we have never seen before, so my heart goes out to everyone who's still making those decisions. You know, I know there's a lot of controversy out there, and just, you've got to do what's best for you and your family, and that's what you need to stick with, is what works best for you. This evening, we did the 2 ordinance changes, and I alluded to the fact that the Planning Commission has been working on this for the last year. The DDA has been working on this. You know, government is slow, things take time, but we are slowly working on updating, revising our ordinances. Sometimes we look at something and say we should leave it, sometimes we look at it and say it needs to change, and it all takes time, but eventually we're going to build our downtown, so we're working on it. Also want to mention last weekend, or the weekend we just had, was the Dream Cruise, and I know some people went, some people didn't, but I actually had the opportunity the day before the Dream Cruise to attend a fundraiser. It's for My D-Man, and it's a foundation, and what they do is they connect disabled clients with owners of convertibles, and they use a special lift to move their clients from wheelchair into the convertible. It needs to, you have to be able to go through, so that's why it's a convertible. And then they take them for a spin on Woodward, and it was a really great experience to see the look on their faces. A lot of their clients, they're disabled because they've had car accidents, and so they hadn't been in the front seat of a car since their accident, and it was just a really great experience being able to do that. And I would love to somehow promote this group next year. I mean, we've got a year to do it. And just, we have some businesses in the city that work with the disabled population, so I would love to be able to somehow connect them. And then there's an event coming up that is not in Madison Heights, but it's next door in Warren and Hamlich Park, and it is on September 18th, and it's from Rockin' Resource, and they're a charity. I met one of their members, I guess, when I was at this event. And what they do is they help people who are struggling with addiction. And I know generally I promote things that are going on in our city, but this is just next door. So if anyone is interested in that, their program is called Celebrate Life. It's for keeping kids safe, and that is on September 18th, like I said, just next door in Warren. And then my final thought is it's regarding mental health. I received a letter from Oakland Community Health Network, and they're asking that we do a proclamation, basically, or a resolution about mental health. And I know that we just did one last month for mental health, and it was specifically, I believe, for BIPOC mental health. And I would just love if there was something that, I'm not interested in doing another resolution. I would love if there was something that we could actually do, something that's tangible. Mental health is just a really huge problem. I'm seeing it so many places. I'm finding it when I'm having conversations with different law enforcement officers, and with just so many different places when you're talking to people about poverty and just general health and well-being. And this last year has really taken the toll for so many people with mental health. So anyone, any residents have any ideas on what we could do, or any groups we could somehow partner with to really bring awareness to this, would be great. I'd appreciate it. Our next meeting is September 13th. There is no meeting. We've got two weeks before our next meeting. It is September 13th at 7:30. The time is now 8:53, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Didn't know you were here. Well, it would have been.
I saw you started writing that, and I'm like...